Good morning. This is Bill from Europa, Naples, and today I have a car that I've had many times before, and surely will have many times again. This is a 2004 Mercedes-Benz. Listen to these birds. They are going bananas. Bananas. They're up there somewhere. I don't know if they're pissed off or just cheerful. Either way, good Lord. Anyway, we've had this car quite a bit. This is far from the first CLK I've done a video on, and I'm sure will be far from the last. The CLK was a very interesting, set of cars. The second generation, this one, ran from, the convertibles ran from 04 to 09, virtually unchanged. The coupes from 03 to 09. And it sort of represented a little bit of a departure from Mercedes-Benz. They went from building these sort of austere, German, chunky, I don't know what you'd call them, just sort of tanks, into something that became a little bit more stylistic, more reminiscent of their roots. They sort of got in a trend of building, fantastic cars in the 80s and 90s, but they really didn't have a lot of curves or styling that, could be called, avant-garde. This one did. This one really did represent a bit of a departure for them. You can see the very rounded headlights reminiscent of the SL from the same generation, or even the SLR McLaren. You can see the beautiful sort of swept back styling. It went back to the big star in the grille, a classic feature of the old coupes and convertibles. They really raked the windshield back. They added these very attractive fairings behind the rear headrests that kind of reminiscent of old race cars. Very rounded tail lamps, lots of nice little chrome accents. The CLK was a styling success, and it's a design that's going to age very well. It looks good now, it looked good when it came out, and it's going to keep looking good as time goes on. In this trim, the CLK500, it's probably the best of the bunch. There was a CLK320 this year, there was a CLK55, which is the AMG version, and dead set in the middle was the CLK500. And what that gave you was a V8 powered 4-seat convertible. Some people say a German Camaro. It's not entirely fair. Camaros aren't really like this. They're just not. I might have even said a German Camaro. Doesn't really matter. The CLK it debuted as the best in its class, and it sort of remains that way today. It's an E-Class level convertible. A lot of people get that confused because of the CLK, and in fact that's why in 2010 they changed the nomenclature back to an E-Class, so it became the E350 convertible. Now it is based on a C platform, and because of that I like to say Mercedes kind of accidentally built a very reliable convertible. The C is truly one of Mercedes' most steadfast, reliable products. And that's because it's not overly complicated the way an SL or S-Class is. And that's why, as time goes on, those big high-end supercars Mercedes built, certainly in terms of their sedans and coupes and, the more pedestrian stuff, becomes less valuable than the lower-priced C-Classes that debuted at the same time. And that's because the Cs run, and they don't really give anyone any trouble. Whereas the S-Classes, you probably want to take out a bank loan to maintain an old one. So that said, this thing went on a C-Class platform, but was very much an E-level convertible. In fact, this car, with the V8 and the Sport package and whatnot, would have been up in the $60,000 to $70,000 range in 04, which is no, bit of small potatoes. This thing cost a fortune, and did bring out a lot of styling and innovations that, really make Mercedes-Benz a pretty fun company. You can see it's finished in fire mist red metallic, absolutely gorgeous color, kind of a burgundy, if you will. It's got these terrific 5-star AMG alloy wheels. They're 17. This drives me nuts. This is the kind of stuff that I just love it when the shop catches, and it freaks me out when it doesn't. So this thing has 3 black and chrome center caps. And then obviously the guy had an issue with the center cap, so one of them became silver. Now, that offends me in a way that stabbing an ice pick into my eye would offend me, and I can't imagine how somebody missed that. It really drives me absolutely nuts. Anyway, so do flies. Anyway, So I'm going to have that center cap made proper again, but good Lord, I mean, you know, open your goddamn eyes for a second. Anyway, you can see the Decklid Spoiler. That's part of the AMG package with the 500. Came standard on that, as did the AMG exhaust, as did those 17-inch 5-stars. They've got big dinner plate brakes all around. Lovely little styling cues. Everything is sort of curved on this car. You can see the door edge guards there with the chrome liner curved. Headlights are curved. The Sport package gives you this big low-down air dam, which is sort of meant to simulate the air dam on a Formula One car. I remember when those air dams came out, they were considered pretty ugly in Formula One, but they do look pretty good in this car. You can see the lovely grille with the chrome lining. They really did a nice job on that. Again, those sort of roundish headlamps, roundish inserts into the roundish rearview mirrors. Very, very pretty. Let's go. All right, let's have a look in the trunk. Now, one of the things that makes the CLK great is that it's a very useful 4-seat convertible. It's big. It has plenty of room. It's able to transport you and cargo fairly efficiently while still having the top-down loveliness. Now, this big partition here with the arrow on it, you can push that forward and gain all of that luggage space. Now, that's only when the top is up. And when you do push it forward, you lose the ability to put the top down. But with it down, anything that you fit in here is not a problem, and you can run topless, and that's a pretty good amount of room. You get some golf clubs in there, some suitcases, some shopping, definitely enough for an overnight stay. No issue at all. Now, I do like this flashing green light. So that's the emergency release that at some point the feds must have mandated a car had to have. And if you're locked in that trunk, that little flashing light is going to be your freedom. So keep an eye on that. Have a look under the hood. They do hide the hood release way down under there. I don't know why. Hard to reach. Okay, so here is a 5-liter V8, 302 horsepower, very, very torquey. You know, this thing is absolutely bulletproof. For a Mercedes V8, it's shockingly reliable. That's not fair to say. They've always been pretty reliable. BMW builds a terrible 8-cylinder, but Mercedes always built a good one. You know, you might face little things like oil leaks on the valve covers or timing chains or whatever, you know, but never any significant issues in a, you know, this 5-liter V8. They just are bulletproof. They have a lovely growl to them. You know, when you hammer this thing with the top down, it gives you a very nice, you know, rewarding sound, and everything just lovely under the hood of this low-mileage car. And long and short of it, that is a terrific engine in this car. I particularly love these fairings back here. Very, very easy. I'm fighting mist this morning. Always the mist and the flies. These rear headrests, they will pop up in less than half a second, 0.03, I believe, or 0.03, 0.3. Big difference, but either way, fast enough. Look at this thing. Out of here. Anyway, fast enough to protect you in the event of calamity. They come up and they act as a roll bar. Very, very cool stuff. You can also raise or lower them manually, but that's not the point. The point is that they are a, you know, sort of airbag-style deployed rollover protection that works fantastic. I often get asked what these things are. You can't see them with the top up, and that's because little brackets on the top slide into here and go under to keep it secure. So that is their function. All right, inside, Mercedes spared absolutely no expense. They made these cars beautiful and very well appointed, again, befitting of an E-Class level Mercedes-Benz vehicle. With these nifty little pull tabs here, you can get into the back seats, which are entirely useful. Your Canadians are not going to be too miserable back there. You know, you don't have to get out of it looking like the Hunchback of Notre Dame if you go past the end of the driveway. Very comfortable, supportive. You see you get side airbags back there. You get this lovely, you know, sort of burlwood trim with the chrome accents. You've got Harman Kardon speakers and subs in this thing. Those are the sub ports there between the seats. Decent amount of leg room. You got these, you know, nifty little knee pads, so if your guys are, 6 feet tall, they'll be able to stuff their kneecaps in here and give themselves a little bit more room. So very well designed, well engineered back seat in this car. Up front, again, beautiful leather. It's cream beige in here. Really lovely color combination in this car. You see it has the optional wood and leather steering wheel, and just looks terrific all around. Let's fire it up, and you can hear this big V8 growl. So I'm put the smart key in here, give it a crank, and there it is. A nice, menacing sound coming out from the pipes. Now, it does beep at you for a second, as a lot of these cars do. I don't really get that. I honestly don't get that. I mean, you start the car, it beeps at you 4 times. Why? Give a guy a second to get situated. Put his seatbelt on, relax, and then if he drives away without his belt or without the door closed, start beeping then. But, give someone a second. All right. Anyway. Here you can see you have a very nicely laid out, if unique, instrument cluster. You've got, nice little chrome surrounds. You've got the clock over to the driver's side of the vehicle. You've got a sort of a smallish tack over there to the right with the 6,000 rev limit. You've got these 2 sort of mercury thermometer style gauges for the fuel and the water temp. Takes a little getting used to, but actually works really well and adds, more gauges with less clutter. So kind of a nice feature there. Over here you've got automatic headlamps, you've got your power mirrors, you've got your 10-way power seats with memory. Again, all the beautiful curved, true real burl wood with the chrome trims. And then we get into all the circular stuff on the CLK. So again, you can see the curves here, you can see the oval door pull, you can see the circular vents, the circular gauge. Well, of course the gauges are circular. You've got oval buttons here on the steering wheel. You've got circles joining circles. It is a very sort of smooth-edged car. Everything, there's no real sharp edges on this thing. Even the glove box pull is one giant oval. This has the standard AM/FM, CD changer, Harman Kardon setup. Let's see what we got on the radio here. Blinded by the light. Okay, I don't know about that. We're about to be blinded by the light. In here we got some books. We got a 6-disc changer. You got an iPod hooked up over there. You got this great little cup holder that shoots out of the dash. I don't know. That looks like something that's going to break to me, but it isn't broken yet. You've got this beautifully curved dashboard. And again, this is what I talk about when I say it was a bit of a departure for Mercedes-Benz. They didn't used to stylistically make their dashboards like that. They were just great dashboards, but they weren't, penned by some, snowflake-looking California art student. They were just good, proper Teutonic dashboards. So with this car, they became a bit more stylistic. Down here, you've got your automatic climate control. Very, very nice. You've got lovely sort of leather shift knob with comfort and sport settings. Now, this thing does have an adaptive transmission. It's a 5-speed, 5 forward gears, and the throttle linkage and the transmission sort of team up to figure out the way that you drive. So we have it on the sport setting now. If I'm a lead foot, which I guess I am a bit of one, then this thing's going to understand that, and it's going to become more responsive. If I'm not a lead foot, if I'm a real, pussy-footed guy, then it's going to understand that, and it's going to be more, forgiving in terms of hitting the throttle too hard. It's a very unique adaptive system. So if you buy one of these cars from an old lady and you're a lead foot, it's going to take you a few days to get the thing responding the way you want it to. But very nice setup. Here you've got a row of buttons that gives you a heated seat. Mercedes-Benz, they really did improve the electronic stability protection, the traction control in this particular car. It had really been a horrific nanny. Particularly when it was an ASR system from earlier. And the ESP made it a little bit more subtle and lets you get away with a little bit more before it kicks on with its angry German nanny vibe that takes all your fun away. So thanks Mercedes for that, but I'd still love it if they could do away with it completely, or at least where you hit off, you think it's off, but man, the minute the car starts sliding, that thing kicks back on and spoils all your fun. Again, in-dash CD. This guy runs the top. Let's see what we got here first. Got a little center console. Now, let's see if I can, whatever, center console. This is going to run the button. Now you can run the, good Lord, all right, I got to get a coffee in me today. This is going to run the top, this button behind the shifter here. So when you pull it up, that puts it down. You can see that through the back. When you push it down, up it comes. So in the mirror, you can see the top cover comes up. Up comes this folding soft top. Now, the reason Mercedes went with the folding soft top on this car was for space. If they had done a folding hard top, it just would have been too damn big. You can see it's a lot of area to cover, and it would have taken up the whole trunk and done away with some of the sleekness of the car. By using the soft top, they could have a real minimalist approach to the top, make it more like the soft tops of old, where it was almost more of a fashion accessory than a top, while at the same time putting fantastic engineering into it. You see this padding. This thing is inches thick, and it really keeps the noise down at speed, keeps the weather out, and is one of the finest soft tops that's ever been made. So very good soft top engineering from Mercedes. And we're starting to fight the sun. Anyway, so let's get that down. Seals in the front. You know, sometimes guys stop there. They don't realize that the back isn't finished. So you see them going down the road with the rear end of the top still sitting up, which, you know, looks ridiculous. And I'm sure the car's beeping at them. I mean, I'm sure it's beeping ridiculously at them, but anyway, you can see we need to lube our hinge back there. Another thing, truly, they should have caught. Anyway, you can see nice big glass rear window, the heat seal on this hinge or stitching area, whatever you want to call it, where the top comes together is perfect. Shows you this thing's been garage kept and looked after. Very often those are starting to come apart. Now, the good news is if they ever do, don't let anyone tell you it needs a new top. They can't wait to charge you for that. Any upholstery shop be able to take that and put a very nice subtle black stitch all the way across it and extend the life of your top for many, many years. So if you take it to a shop and they want to put a top on it, run at top speed. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. All right. We also have seatbelt presenters. You see when I close the door, that little stalk comes out and gives me the seatbelt. Very, very nice. Makes it easy to get on. We'll get it in drive and get away from the sun. So the 500 drives a little bit stiffer, a little bit heavier than the 320s. They feel a little bit more, you know, I mean, this thing's still agile, but you can feel the bigger V8 in it. The steering, they moved from a recirculating ball setup to a rack and pinion. You know, that was a big move forward for Mercedes. Became a lot more tight and responsive. And when you hammer it, the V8 really comes to life. So really nice power out of this thing. Going down the road, the ride feels, you know, a nice mixture of soft and firm. The steering, incredibly responsive. The brakes, lovely. Really drag this thing down in a hurry. And just a very nice, luxurious ride all around. You can tell it's an expensive car by the way it drives. Taking a new path today. Let's see who we got. All right, so we're in the sport setting. I'm not shifting manually. I'm just going to hammer it. And there it goes. You see it has that sort of half-second Mercedes pause where it kind of says, you know, you sure? You ready? You can, okay, you want this? All right, let's do it. And then it goes. Kind of interesting. I suppose that's also where the adaptive thing is learning what you're like, seeing if it can get used to you. Anyway, there it is. So this is a 2004 Mercedes-Benz CLK500 Cabrio. Do not be one of those people who thinks that the 500 is bigger than the 320. It drives me nuts. The number is about the engine, not the size of the car. Anyway, low miles, just 59,000 on the clock of this thing. Beautiful color combination. Fantastic car to drive and own. Reliable, luxurious, gonna age well, become a real classic of a car. If you have an interest, give us a call, 239-649-7300, on the web at mercedesexpert.com. We're always happy to talk to you about this or any other great car we have in stock. So thanks so much for having a look. We'll see you with the next one.